Welcome to Jikoni Magic. Today we're going to be making coconut chapatis, and I promise you that they're going to be very interesting because I've added a certain twist in them. Something else that you should note is that when you substitute coconut cream for water, you'll end up with a richly flavored, soft and velvety textured chapati. Just look at that. We're going to start this recipe right where we left off our previous one on how to make homemade coconut milk and cream. Now this is the jar that had the coconut cream. It's already separated into two layers after I left it for several hours. And the same has happened to the one that had the coconut milk. It's already separated into two layers. I'll show you what I do with all this later on. So now to our ingredients. I used 2 cups whole wheat flour, 3 cups all-purpose flour, salt to taste, an optional pinch of sugar. Then I proceeded to mix all the dry ingredients together. This was followed by me adding half a cup of grated carrots, followed by a 1/4 cup of dhania leaves or coriander leaves. Then I made sure that everything was mixed in properly so that no one ingredient was more concentrated on one part. Next, I took the jar that had the coconut milk and proceeded to scoop out all the rich, luscious cream that was floating on top of it. Just look at how thick it is. So just try as much as possible to make sure that you're only scooping out the top layer and not interfering with the bottom layer. I did not discard the water that remained. I set it aside and I will show you what I do with it in another video. And so the next thing that I did is I rubbed in the coconut cream until it was well distributed throughout the flour. And then I took the coconut cream, scooped out the floating layer, set it aside for another recipe, and the remaining bit is the one that I used to knead my dough. So I kept adding it bit by bit until all the flour came together into one nice ball of dough and no flour was left at the bottom of my bowl. Next, I placed the dough on my work surface and proceeded to knead for 7 to 10 minutes until the dough became smooth and elastic. Next, I rolled it into a nice ball and then placed it in my bowl. I did not coat it with any oil because the coconut cream already has enough oil and it's going to come through. I left this dough to rest for 2 hours and this is how it looked like. You can see that it's already shining because of the oil that's already come through from the coconut cream. And the dough has already relaxed. So I placed my dough on the work surface, gently kneaded it for about just a minute, rolled it into a cylindrical shape and proceeded to divide it into equal sized balls. This dough yielded 10 balls. Next, I took each ball at a time, dusted it with dry flour and rolled it out into a circle of about 6 inches or so, and then I applied melted coconut on it. And I was careful not to apply too much because remember the coconut cream is very rich in oil. And then at this point I applied my third twist, which is the desiccated coconut, which was all in line with keeping up with the coconut theme. The first 2 twists were the grated coconut and the dhania leaves. I hope you liked those twists. Next, I rolled up my chapati dough as you're seeing here in the video. I came across this method on my friend's channel. She's called Fathia. She's the one who owns the Aroma of Zanzibar and she is so super talented. I tell you, she's got the most amazing Zanzibari foods. Make sure to watch her chapati video. Her rolling technique is done so gracefully. I mean, you're just going to fall in love with her technique. And while there, please make sure to say hi and tell her that you came from Jikoni Magic. So I did this with all the balls and then covered them with a plastic wrap and left them to rest for about 10 minutes or so. The next step was to roll the chapati balls ready for cooking. So I simply dusted the balls with some bit of dry flour and then rolled them out into circles of 6 inches because my cooking pan is 8 inches. And it's also good that as you're rolling, you feel the chapati surface with your fingertips because this will give you an idea of whether some places are thicker than others and you can even them out. I like my chapatis on the thin side and this is how thin I prefer mine to be. Next, I wipe my preheated chapati pan using a kitchen towel that's been soaked in coconut oil, and then I gently place my rolled out chapati dough. I prefer to cook my chapatis on moderate heat. After about 30 seconds, the top will turn opaque and you'll start seeing air bubbles begin to form on top. And it's also good practice to turn your chapati once in a while just in case there's a hot spot that will make your chapatis not cook evenly. So after about a minute, I turn over my chapati, and as you can see, some brown spots had already started forming. So I apply melted coconut oil on this exposed side. Make sure that I touch each and every spot, and then I turn it over so that it can cook further on the hot chapati. And as you can see, the chapati is already beginning to swell up, meaning that the layers are separating because of the steam that is in between them. So at the end of the day, you're going to end up with a chapati that is not dense. It's going to be nice and light, which is what we want. So after applying the oil on the second side, turn it over and then keep cooking both sides until you're satisfied with the doneness of your chapati, and then remove from the heat. And then at the end of it all, I wanted to show you how the chapatis turned out. They were soft, and I think this demonstration is proof enough, and I'm going to let you be the judge on how you think they turned out. Is it a yes or a no? Do they look soft or not? Please tell me what you think about the end result. And this is also to answer someone's question when they asked me how I normally serve my chapatis. If they are few, I roll them, put them in a casserole, and present them at the table. If there are too many, then I will cover them in a container so that they do not dry up and become hard. And in closing, I served my coconut chapatis with ndengu or pojo curry that had been cooked in coconut cream. This is going to be the recipe for the next video, so please stay tuned. Do not miss out. Until then, kwaheria kuonana, keep it Jikoni magic. Goodbye.